Social anxiety is one of those really strange things. You mentioned that it was something that I felt like it's kind of relatively unexplored, maybe. And I find that to be so interesting because I feel like it has to be one of the most common things. Yeah, I feel like so many people have a hard time even recognizing that they're maybe experiencing it. What are some of the differences between having anxiety and then just experiencing anxiety? Is there like a line that delineates the two?
It's an important question because it's similar to depression in the sense that most people at some point in their lives will feel depressed. Most people at some point in their lives will feel anxious. We know what that experience is like. And with social anxiety, most people at some point in their lives will feel socially anxious. What that feeling is a significant worry or concern about what other people are thinking of you, if they're judging you, and if they're going to ultimately reject you. If you've ever gone on an interview, if you've ever gone on a first date, if you've ever entered a party and not knowing anyone, you've probably felt socially anxious. And in so many ways, social anxiety can be super helpful. What social anxiety does is it, first of all, it alerts us to the fact that this situation is important to us. If a situation isn't important to you, you're not going to be as worried about what other people are thinking of you because you don't really care, right? It's like if you're on the metro and I didn't really care about what Susan thought about me, I wouldn't feel socially anxious. But when the situation is important and making a good impression is consequential, especially for something like an interview, well, then social anxiety, it hones in our attention to the situation. And that what we do is we try to match our behaviors to what the situation calls for. We try to behave in ways that are socially appropriate to maximize our chances of being accepted or minimize our chances of being rejected. But for a small subset of people, that experience of social anxiety is frequent. So it's happening a lot of the time. It's persistent. So it's happening in multiple types of situations. And it's incredibly distressing. It's really uncomfortable. They're at a 10 out of 10 feeling anxious, so much so that they have difficulty even having, everyday conversations. They have difficulty participating. And ultimately, that level of social anxiety leads to the impairment that we see that's characteristic of social anxiety disorder. And so there's no real line in the sand of when it becomes social anxiety disorder, when it becomes problematic. What we typically say is it distressing? So it's causing a lot of uncomfortable moments a lot of the time. And is it impairing? Meaning, is it getting in the way of living the life you want to live?